This NFL Picks Week 14 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sportsbook available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
What's up? It's the most must-see WWE superstar of all time, The Miz, and you are watching SGPN, and it is awesome. Let it ride.
Long, Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
Happy week 14, Sean.
Happy week 14. Can you believe it's already week 14, Ryan?
Just stealing my bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
All right.
I'm going to start pronouncing Louisville properly.
Well,
I was always
Colby's
a fan
not
of saying
here
Louisville
to witness, but I've just Sean did not believe that there are people out there from the great state of Kentucky. Maybe you just went to college there. Maybe a passerby who respects the native tongue and respects people's name as they choose to say it. Sean.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people out there that appreciate my efforts to say Louisville correctly. So with that being said, happy NFL week 14.
Happy NFL week 14, coming off a nice week for us, Ryan, and our service, aka all the free picks. Well, it's we've been giving out free picks against the spread since 2011. So
okay, I was gonna say it gets messy.
Service.
You start talking about service.
No, I'm just saying
full service,
great week,
partial service,
great week for the service. We were 4-1 on our Circa Million.
The Sports Gambling Podcast service, where we always finish you off. No, maybe we have to workshop.
Wow, you really jumped ahead, Ryan. I was trying to tout the Circa Million, 4-1. We're on a.
Is that good?
I think so.
Nice.
We're on a 22-13 run in the Circa Million, which is always our 5 favorite bets. And then, Circa Million overall. We had like week 4 to week 6. It was a lot of 2s and 3s. And then there was week 2 was a disaster 0-5, but we're 35-29-1, 55%. So, feeling pretty good. I came off a 10-6 double lock. Thanks to the, miracle cover by the Denver Broncos, turning everyone into believers out there.
Yeah.
Really was just a masterclass in Jameis Winston. Jameis has to be the most entertaining quarterback in a long time.
I was trying to think about this in a rare moment of quiet time. Who was the guy? Who do you like? Who's the last guy you can remember that had this? Is it Andrew Luck?
No.
Because he had some wild ass games. I think about that playoff comeback. I think about some of his crazy interception games that then resulted in him throwing 4 second half touchdowns.
No one can compare to Jameis. I mean, Jameis went 30 for 30, Ryan. 30
I understand that. I'm just trying to go back and think about other quarterbacks that move the needle in the same way.
Like, it's a fool's errand as far as I'm concerned, because there's no one as entertaining. Well, and his like off the field stuff, his quotes, saying, "Lord, deliver me from these pick sixes."
I did see someone
just so great
point out that Joe Namath once had a 5 touchdown, 5 interception game.
Yeah.
And he also has a interesting personality off the field.
He did try to make out with Susie Colbert while he was hammered, which if you had to guess one active NFL quarterback that would try and do that in modern times, it might be Jameis.
I mean, he ate a W.
He did.
Dead seriously. He's stolen crab legs. He's fondled vaginas, allegedly.
He's lived a very interesting life. He's super entertaining quarterback.
Would you want him on your football team?
Yeah, why not?
100%. Locker room guy.
I think he's a great. The only time I don't think you would want him on your team is if you had a weak starting quarterback that you were worried because
like Cleveland situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. It's tough because you do want him there and you want him starting over Deshaun Watson. But if Deshaun Watson, if you're a coach and you're in a situation where you have to start the guy because they paid him $300 million and management says, "Hey, this is the starting quarterback," then you don't want a guy like Jameis in there because he's gonna guys instantly in the locker room gravitate towards Jameis. He's super entertaining. The guy
it's charisma.
Tries incredibly hard. We thought it was just the pick sixes were due to his eyes needing LASIK, but maybe there's something more there. He just throws a catchable ball, right?
He throws a catchable ball, and the reality is he has zero fucks to give.
Yeah,
and I think
which is so fun to watch.
More quarterbacks need to have there's not enough quarterbacks with that. So you'd rather have it turned all the way up.
Yeah.
Cause the second you neuter it, it's over.
Well, and especially if you're a team like the Browns, you want to play aggressive. You want to play with nothing to lose. You can't.
Oh, what a game.
It was just an awesome cover, awesome win, awesome game. And
Jerry Jeudy just casually 250 yards. Okay.
Well, his yards per game, obviously this really shoots it up, but since Jameis has come into town, he's been super effective, racking up a ton of yards, and especially without. It looks like they're going to be without Cedric Tillman perhaps for another game.
So they have a quarterback that can now throw the forward pass. Jerry Jeudy looks better.
Yeah, who'd have thunk it? Certainly interesting there. A lot of good games, bunch of division games. We got good Thursday night football. We got it all. I'm jacked up. Week 14, last week of the Underdog best ball Mania entries. Ryan, I'm
so excited.
Got a couple I'm keeping an eye on. We'll see which ones move on. That's always fun if you get some through.
Get a sweat.
Yeah, I'm always just looking for
get a sweat.
A little extra sweat. That's all I'm looking for.
I am looking forward to playoff best ball.
Yeah, and I'm sure we should do a episode. When do you want to do it? Because there is something kind of fun to doing playoff best ball now, where we don't know the playoff teams, and you're trying to find that edge of like, oh man, do I draft Mike Evans? So maybe they get in the playoffs, maybe they don't. That kind of stuff.
So what do we have? 5 weeks left. So yeah, I wonder what the sweet spot is, because there aren't that many teams really on the bubble, so it's not as I feel like there's not as many moving parts as maybe in a typical year at this time. What are they offering? Are they even off? They got it up here.
Yeah.
Maybe not. No, do not have it up yet. So we'll have to check back.
I thought they do.
I maybe we're in between contests or something. I'm not saying anything right now. But yeah, no. I'm down to do it early. High variance.
Yeah, and we know ball. We know who's getting into the playoffs. Shout out to the Bucks. Probably going to get in there, win the NFC South. One last thing, we have to talk about this. Deontay Johnson suspended for refusing to enter the game against the Eagles. Ryan, that's how dominating Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. Yeah. I mean, what other reason would you not want to go into the game?
I think there might be something else going on.
You think he's crazy?
I think he he played for the Steelers and now he doesn't play for the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, what
simple formula.
It is it's crazy, the on off of receivers playing for Mike Tomlin, and then what immediately happens as soon as they leave.
I take that back. We got the gauntlet $25 and the mitten $5, Sean. So we are live.
Yeah, I thought they had something.
Yeah, maybe we do something next week. Maybe we do something on
show.
A little taste.
Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Let's get to it, Ryan. We got a bunch of games.
All right. Sean says go. We got to go.
Well, what do you? I know you love your chit chat.
I got nothing else to chit chat about. It's been a solid season. It was a great, refreshing, rejuvenating Thanksgiving holiday.
Yeah, not ruined by the Giants.
Completely disconnected. We've moved on.
Oh, okay.
There are 32 teams in the National Football League to handicap. Unfortunately, only 26 this weekend, Sean.
Yeah.
But it's important we pay attention to all 26 teams. So, your love of the stupid Eagles right now is only distracting you from the prize. Green Bay Detroit. Two teams coming off a solid week of rest because they played on Thanksgiving. And a rematch, one of the rematch games. Detroit, the Lions laying 3.5 here, -177 on the money line. Green Bay +157, 51.5 is the total. I got to be honest. We've already talked about this game. We talked about it on the prop show. I think, you seemed like you were in a similar place than I was, maybe not quite as I was going in on Detroit.
Yeah, I was going back and forth on this game as far as the side. I do think Tim Patrick getting loose probably gets the 2 touchdowns. Zadarius Smith to get a sack there, but our Lions insider Easy in the chat pointing out kind of a similar thought that I have. I think this might be a letdown spot here a little bit for the Detroit Lions. I think this is a
mistake. I think
this is a kitchen sink game for the Packers. The Lions obviously missing a couple of linebackers, not only Anzalone, Rodriguez. They're basically equal in offensive DVOA. This is a great revenge spot for the Packers. I think they are going to be able to move the ball, and I think they're going to. This, to me, the more I think about this game, is going to be a field goal game. I think you can attack this Lions defense in the slot. And I think, Jaden Reed's going to have a big game. I think they're going to be able to move the ball, and something is a hair off with this Lions team, just a hair. I still think they're a very good team, but missing DJ Reader, Josh Pascal, and then Taylor Decker, their left tackle, will be out. So the defensive line a little thin for the Lions. Again, why I like Zadarius Smith. He's going to be one of the only healthy linemen they have out there, and Taylor Decker, their left tackle, being out, I think is a big deal, and I think it's going to matter in this game. So I like the Packers getting 3.5 points, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, you got most of the injury stuff. Packers are down some defensive backs.
Yeah.
And so I do think, from a matchup perspective, you're just completely discarding the fact that they went and played in Green Bay and played their style of ball. Now they get to come back into Detroit, play their style of ball. A night game. We know what the guys, the Derek and the guys tell us about the night games in Detroit. There's going to be some juice here. You're saying you're completely okay with the idea that they're equal teams. Detroit's only slightly better for you.
I would say in this spot, getting 3.5 for a division game where, as Easy Lions insiders pointing out, Decker being out, defensive line, McNeil, Smith.
Both teams are banged up though.
Okay.
In fairness.
Sure, certainly, but I think
it's a home game in a primetime spot where we've seen Dan Campbell not let down one time this year. Easy's just doing that fan thing.
That's not well. They have let down at home against the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Okay,
and
but that was a game where they still showed up. They did not convert in the red zone. That was their flaw.
I'm not saying Green Bay is going to destroy them. And I don't even know if I like Green Bay on the money line, but I do think this is going to be a competitive field goal game. And I like Green Bay getting the 3.5.
Okay, you lay the 3.5. You don't take it, Sean.
Rock solid, right? There's never been a case where that goes sideways.
Really?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
We'll have to look at the data. But no, I do think that both teams being banged up, the Lions defense has continued to overcome these injuries. Worth noting, and yeah, at the end of the day, I do think that the offense for the Lions could potentially feast against this Green Bay or this Packer defense. And so, yeah, I hear you. Perhaps it's a nice close game, a nice tidy field goal game,
yeah,
or perhaps
31-28,
or perhaps it's a blowout.
I think you have certain. You come in with certain. I think Packers Nation has turned you against.
I've been on the Packers recently.
Yeah, once.
Is that true? I feel like I was on the 2 weeks in a row. I locked them up. Come on, Sean, and I got it right. I'm dialed
You're locked in on the Packers.
I'm dialed in on this fucking team, and Easy's crazy. I think this Lions team is all like they understand they got to keep the the pedal down because the Eagles are right behind them, and they want to make sure this championship goes through Detroit in Detroit. Lay it. All right, Sean.
Take it.
Okay. That doesn't sound laying. It sounds way cooler than taking it. But let's head over to Sunday, Sean. We're gifted a nice, tight 7 games in the early window. So God's eye will be configured optimally. First one in the rotation, the Atlanta Falcons head to the Minnesota Vikings. Little Kirk Cousins revenge spot. And the Vikings are laying 5.5. You know, Sean, when this number opened up back in May, it was Atlanta -1 on the road here. Moved to full 6.5 points, -250 on the money line for the Vikings. Falcons, big money line coming back, +216, 45.5 is the total. Vikings have been good this year. Some will say regression loading. Feels a little bit like the team from a couple years ago, winning on the margins. This year's defense is better. I think this year's defense is the kind of defense that can wreck a game. And you know, Kirk Cousins falls in the category of so many others where he's either going to get the ball out quick against this defense and it's going to look okay because everything's dialed in and timing looks tight and everything works, or the pressure's going to get to him and he's going to look like hot garbage like he did at times last week.
At times, when did he not look like hot garbage, Ryan? He threw 4 interceptions and none of them were close. It'd be one thing if it was like a tip ball. That pick 6 was one of the worst pick 6s I saw. I've seen
bad ones.
the interception in the end zone. It was a touch pass to 3 defenders. It's one thing if you're injured, but that was just a poor decision to take something off of it. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It's interesting because I do like the Vikings here to win the game. It's the spread is really in my head here because the Vikings, all they do is win close games. I could easily see them winning by 3, 4. You get to 5.5, and then they're really making you think about it. Ryan, when was the last time Kirk Cousins threw not interception? We know that answer. When was the last time he threw a touchdown?
Last time Kirk Cousins threw it. I know he's been short of 300 yards a lot of the game. He's kind of been in a cold streak. I don't know. I know they had a bye, so you'll probably get to stretch this back and say like last month.
November 3rd is the last time Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown pass. 3 games in a row in the NFL not throwing a touchdown pass. I know you follow the Giants and you're not aware that you should be getting touchdown passes in games. Justin Jefferson, what's going on with him? Like he's got to get him versus the end zone. I still don't understand it. I was told by the nerd community that this was going to be his year to actually get into the end zone a little bit here. And then last but not least, the Falcons kicker, Young Hoku, has really struggled. And I think that could be a big factor in a game like this, in a spread where it's like, maybe it's a little close. Yeah. I hear the idea of like, hey, Kirk, old Kirky boy, revenge game. I just don't see it against this Vikings defense. And what is Kirk Cousins struggled with? His mobility in the pocket. Maybe it's an injury, maybe it's the Achilles thing.
What do you mean injury? He's not listed on the injury report.
Well, that's the other thing. There's all these conspiracy theories.
I don't see a Kirk Cousins on here.
Well, clearly and he probably isn't injured. He probably is 100%, but he's an old quarterback coming off Achilles. He's probably Aaron Rodgers healthy, where it's like, yeah, you're healthy, but you're a goddamn statue back there. You're gonna get lit up on the Vikings defense. I get why you could talk yourself into Atlanta. I'm not doing it. Give me Minnesota laying the points. Skull, baby. Give me a nice tin of skull.
I think the reason you just go contrarian on this one is because the Falcons defense didn't look half bad last week. The lack of pressure seemed to be headed in the right direction against a team that hadn't been giving up a ton of pressure when the offensive line was healthy. And so maybe they can do that to Sam Darnold because again, Sam Darnold has been giving teams opportunities.
The counter is you're getting 5.5 points going against Sam Darnold, which I get. I just can't put money on Kirk Cousins.
Now that being said, forgetting about that, I mean Darnell Mooney. Granted, it's listed as a rest day. He was a DNP. It sounds like Drake London Although again, resting, something's going on there because all the local beat reporters are saying maintenance and keep an eye on.
And Ladd McConkey, I know the Chargers didn't score an offensive touchdown, but Ladd McConkey had himself a day in that slot. And if they slide Jefferson over there, like the areas of the field where Ladd attacked and went and got 9 catches for over 100 yards, Justin Jefferson's gonna eat, baby.
This Vikings team really shouldn't be laying 5.5 points here, though. Right?
I agree. But I'm not betting on Kirk Cousins. If you want to do it, it's your own money, Ryan.
It is my own money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Atlanta. Wow.
Nolans, the Saints, they're heading up north to take on the New York Football Giants. Game number 2 in the early window. Giants are 4.5 point home dogs, plus 192 on the money line, minus 220 for the Saints, who are, by the way, Sean, a public side catching 75% of the bets, according to the VSiN bet splits. What's there really to talk about here? The Saints don't have Taysom Hill, which is it's almost a TJ Watt Steelers type trend with Taysom Hill.
I mean,
if he's not playing, how can you take to the?
How can you take the Saints because they're playing the New York Giants, Ryan? This is a
rock hard place.
No,
right?
no,
but no Taysom Hill.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
No Dexter Lawrence.
Cooper Rush is lighting this team up. This team is quit on a level I haven't seen in a while. Dexter Lawrence opting out of the rest of the season.
He did dislocate an elbow.
Okay. You don't think you could pop that in if it was a playoff game?
I mean, I don't think you'd say that if Sexy Dexy was in the room. He did dislocate his elbow.
Oh, what's he gonna do? Come at me with one arm?
That probably would be a bad spot for you to be in.
So they don't have Dexter Lawrence.
That could be our poll question for over on Spotify.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Could Sean block Dexter Lawrence with one arm? Wait, if Dexter Lawrence only had one arm, like in his current state on the IR with a dislocated elbow, could Sean block Dexter Lawrence?
100%. 100%.
I feel like he could just be like a rhinoceros with no arms and just run
he'll bull rush me, but I'm also could I think the fair question is could Dexter Lawrence block me? Because without it leverage with both hands.
Oh, come on, Sean.
My spin move?
Come on, Sean.
Yeah, I've interacted with pro athletes.
I know you're not being serious. There's no way that you could do anything. You couldn't get around Dexter Lawrence.
That I disagree.
No
I might not be able to stop him, but with him with a dislocated elbow, well, then dislocated elbow doesn't mean anything. Either dislocated elbow is a fraud excuse to quit on the season, or I can get around Dexter Lawrence.
Again, Dexter Lawrence, one of the few members of the Giants who's on the team next year, on my roster next year. It's a list of 6 people. We can discuss it later in the season. But I think there's nothing that would happen if any sort of near hand-to-hand combat. I would fear for your life against Dexter Lawrence.
Well, thank you. Giants, worst team in the NFL against the spread at home, 1-5.
That's true. Starting
Drew Lock, who couldn't beat out Tommy DeVito for the starting job. That's a horrible sign.
He's got an extended time this go around instead of a last minute.
Yeah, Brian Dable hates everyone on his team. It's a mutual feeling, judging from the players.
Interesting.
Malik Neighbors maybe catch some easy passes and some PPR points, but I just see no fight from this team on the Giants. You got to take the Saints here.
Without Taysom Hill, you're going to lay 4.5 on the road.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, that's how bad the Giants are. I feel comfortable laying points with the Saints.
They'll win by a field goal. The Saints.
Who's scoring on the Giants?
I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
You like the Giants?
You can't. Taysom Hill is a TJ Watt level player for this Saints team. When he plays, they win. When he doesn't play,
they've lost a lot of games with Taysom Hill.
Okay. When they win, he's healthy.
Okay.
When's the last time they've won a game without Taysom Hill?
Let me see, because I know they did win one without him. You're gonna make me look this up.
I'm gonna make you look this up because I don't think it's not this season. I don't think because the Saints haven't won many games like you're pointed out, and he was healthy for those first 2.
The Saints,
and he had that awesome 3 touchdown game win.
Yeah, let me. I'll do some more research on that.
I don't want to take the points here, but it's the right side from a gambling perspective. And that's what people have come to listen and respect about this show.
Yeah, maybe
Objective
they certainly need Taysom Hill, but Ryan, the Giants are so bad.
I agree. Dexter Lawrence isn't out there. It's a real big problem.
Yes.
Big
have
problem.
the Giants won a game without Dexter Lawrence? Have the Giants covered a spread without Dexter Lawrence?
It's a great question.
At home, who did they cover the spread against?
He's not missed many games in his career, so the answer is probably no, they have not.
Okay, there you go. Hey, if you're looking to get down on some spreads, best place to do that, mybookie.ag. That's right. Use the promo code SGPN. Get you 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Everyone's always asking me, Sean, who is your bookie? My bookie is my bookie. That's right. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Unlike those local bookies, won't break your legs, aren't pinging you for Venmo requests. You don't have to come up with shady excuses because you get that 100% match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Easy deposits and withdrawal with sweet cryptocurrency. If you had any cryptocurrency kicking around, it's probably gone up a tremendous amount. Look at Bitcoin's just trading at $103,000 per Bitcoin. Good time to maybe slice off a little bit of that. Head over to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rebet. I'm always on the hunt for new sportsbook, new ways to get down, new opportunities. And Rebet is that. It's a new social sportsbook. Try it out. It's a little different approach. You're going to like it. Download it in the App Store, whichever, if you're an Apple App Store, Android App Store, doesn't matter your flavor. Rebet is there. You can get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use a promo code SGPN. That's Rebet in your App Store. Promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. Ryan, we have not agreed on one pick so far.
That's a real personal question.
What is?
Asking people about their devices, which store they operate in.
All right.
I'm just saying. All right, game number 3, classic. And honestly, perhaps this is not the right year. What year did they come into the league? Was it 94 Madden when they were like the unlocked teams, or it was at least Jacksonville and Carolina? That's right.
Yeah,
and they were
94 sounds right.
They were 99s across the board, playing it on Super Nintendo.
Oh, and shout out to Vikings Kyle Ryan,
really?
Reminding everyone with the Madden curse staying undefeated. Of course, Christian McCaffrey was on the Madden curse. Just one more reason why I was saying don't draft Christian McCaffrey for the fantasy football season.
Before we get ahead to. There was a question in the chat about Derek Carr's ability to play in cold weather games. It will be windy and in the low 40s.
Yeah.
Does that worry you at all?
No, I mean against a legitimate NFL team, I would not be taking the Saints. But the Giants, as Christopher points out, are unintentionally tanking. Intentionally. They would never mess with the integrity of the game. I don't think it is intentional. I think they came into the season thinking Daniel Jones was a quarterback that they could build around, and they were completely wrong about that.
Yeah, ownership shouldn't meddle in player development. Jacksonville, Tennessee, AFC South, gonna have to dust off the old flow chart for this one. The Jags on the road in Tennessee. Tennessee, by the way, Sean, worst team in the NFL. ATS 2-10. They're laying 3.5 points, minus 185 on the money line, plus 163 for the Jags. 39.5 is the total. Jags, by the way, are 2-10 straight up. So we have a 2-10 ATS team versus a 2-10 straight up team.
I'm all over the Jags here. I think this is a nice get up spot for this Jags team. As much as, with the exception of that game in Detroit, the Jags have kind of been fighting. I mean, Trevor Lawrence got murdered on the field allegedly.
Will Doug Peterson be the quarterback or the coach next year?
Doug Peterson
for the Jags? No,
of course not. I mean, what does that have to do with anything?
No, I know. What are they fighting for?
Well, clearly they're fighting for their jobs. That's what's great about the NFL compared to the NBA.
Oh.
When the NBA they tank, like they really don't give a shit. The NFL, I mean, you're going to war. Your life is on the line, and I think that team got up. They were down 2 touchdowns. They were down 17 against the Texans when Mac Jones came into the game.
Mac Jones has 0 fucks to give.
You want to talk about YOLO ball? Mac Jones is the perfect YOLO quarterback, and the Titans defense, which was like the one thing you could almost hang your hat on, has completely completely fallen apart. Brian Robinson ran all over him. Will Levis continues to just throw interceptions left and right. I think Tank Bigsby has a big game.
I have a theory about Mac Jones.
What's your theory?
Better when he doesn't have practice reps. Like he needs to just come into a game and fire.
Yeah,
him working with the team for the week. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't. I get that, but I think this Jags team is going to get up, and clearly there's a ton of problems on the Titans. I know the Titans were able to beat the, take down the Texans, but
do you remember last year, January 7th, end of the season, Jags just have to beat the lowly Titans, to make the playoffs, and what happens?
Who is the quarterback?
28, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, Goldilocks loser.
Well. He lost to Ryan Tannehill. It seems so long ago that Ryan Tannehill was playing quarterback, but yeah, no, I was actually bringing it up to give you an assist as the Jags backer that this could potentially be a revenge spot.
Revenge, division game, whatever you want to say. This Jags team is playing much harder than the Titans, and I think they can do stuff on the ground. I think they'll be up for this game. So yeah, give me the Jags and the points all day.
So like this is like all right. I told myself I would stop betting on the Titans.
Yeah.
And then it's Mac Jones week.
Yep.
And it's laying 3.5, and you're supposed to lay the 3.5. And you have some key people on the Jags team along the offensive line, defensive backfield, a little banged up. They might maybe it's a play one for Trevor. But
100%. They were pretty fired up after that game. They immediately were fighting for their teammate, fighting for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I just think it's all
you're
false.
Crazy to like Tennessee here. You're crazy.
I think
the Titans laying 3.5, Ryan.
Because the Jags have been so bad on defense. I think the Titans are going to be able to do some stuff on offense. I also think that Mac Jones is fucking horrible, and he's going to give me a pick 6. And so, yeah,
that's not in your handicap for Will Levis, the guy who invented the pick 6
against the Jags. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Against the Jags without a couple of their top defensive backs. No.
But you could say the exact same thing for the Titans. They haven't had their top defensive backs in a long time.
Well, the Titans but they're playing Mac Jones. Mac Jones will give them opportunities.
So will Will Levis. Titans are 0-3 ATS is a favorite. Every time we've talked ourselves into them as a favorite, it's gone horribly.
The look ahead even moved a point up. It's telling you, screaming. You got to take the Titans here, Sean. What do you think the betting splits tell us? Any thoughts on the betting splits?
No thoughts.
I mean, obviously the Titans have to be getting the money, I would think.
What are they?
62% on the Titans, 38%.
So you're telling me you and the public are loving the Titans as a favorite?
I'm playing as the NFL slot machine. A week hiatus. I'm going back. I'm playing as the Titans this week, Sean.
All right. Good luck.
Game 4 in the early window. The Las Vegas Raiders heading to Tampa to take on the Bucks. Pirates versus Pirates here, Sean. Vegas with the extended rest coming off the Black Friday game. They are on a back-to-back road spot, but I think the extended rest kind of neutralizes that. Bucks laying a full touchdown here, Sean. I know there are some juiced 6.5s out there. We're picking it at a full touchdown, -290 on the money line. Raiders +248. 46 is the total. This is obviously just a diabolical situation.
This one's pretty tough because
one of the tougher games on the board this week.
The Raiders are good at kind of hanging around in games they have no business winning. And then, but also I know they got the extended rest, but this is also kind of like a massive letdown spot for the Raiders. They've been horrible historically after playing the Chiefs. It was clearly a game they got up for. They had circled Antonio Pierce with all the rah-rah stuff. And now you got a non-conference road game on the East Coast. I just don't see a ton of angles, except
Bucks coming off an overtime game.
Yeah, Bucks coming off the overtime game, and then you have Brock Bowers, which should be doing, which should have a pretty good game against this Bucks defense. Aiden O'Connell looked very good against the Chiefs defense, but so did Bryce Young. So maybe the Chiefs defense isn't that good, or maybe the Chiefs were just playing with their food and playing down to their competition.
That's probably more likely.
Baker Mayfield got pretty banged up. And then you have the matchup of Aiden O'Connell versus Todd Bowles, and Todd Bowles does seem to do well against quarterbacks that aren't good. And I still have Aiden O'Connell in the not good quarterback pile.
It's a big pile.
Yeah, the overtime angle is kind of tough here.
I'd say the overtime angle. I'd say the injury report, and just in general, the Raiders are quite healthy. Where but sans my guy Zamir White, who seems to be perpetually banged up or in some sort of like
it's a non-conference road spot. I just man, I don't know. I don't see the Raiders giving a shit about this game.
This is a win don't cover situation, right?
Yeah, I'll go Raiders +7. But look, this one's tough because there's.
Can I make a prediction?
Sure.
Everyone's going to use this in teasers.
Okay.
Would you use this in Survivor?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Tampa Bay as a team. They're playing for the division. They smell blood in the water with Atlanta kind of hitting the wall.
Yeah, but this.
I know you're a big Falcons guy, but I think Tampa Bay is going to be up.
Yeah, no, I need them to win too. We have the same investment there. What are we
taking the Raiders +7?
It just feels like I'm going to look back and realize the last 4 picks really could be really regretful.
You're on the wrong side of a few of these. Right.
Like you before the show, I said a lot of gross dogs this week.
Yeah, and yet you took Tennessee -3.5. Jacksonville's a gross dog.
That's yeah. I guess we can agree to disagree on that one. Game 5, the Cleveland Browns.
You don't think Jacksonville's gross?
They're fairly gross, but at that 3.5 number, it's too attractive to folks like you, the TMZ crowd. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, they just played, Sean. They just played in this one.
Yeah.
And it was a doozy. It was in Cleveland though. This one's in Pittsburgh. Now, what do we know about Tomlin and Russ and Arthur Smith laying 7 points? Buyer beware. -310 on the money line, +264 for the Browns. 43.5 is the total. Browns in a spot, right? They're back-to-back road spots. We just watch them play on Monday night against the Broncos.
Epic game.
At elevation, epic game, back and forth. A lot of emotion poured out in that one. Although it seems like every Jameis Winston game involves a lot of emotion. We're not supposed to do this. We've discussed this many times throughout the year.
Yeah.
There's a couple times when we have to say no to the Steelers, and it's when they're laying a big number at home in a divisional game, right, Sean?
Right. But Browns are on a short week.
No.
And the Steelers getting Highsmith back.
No.
Is really huge for them. I think that, and Cedric Tillman being probably out. Jerry Jeudy going off, but I do think Highsmith is just a game changer for the Steelers pass rush. And also, there's the angle. Schwartz has done well against Russ, but really it's Mike Tomlin in same season revenge games though. He's 11-6 ATS. You don't get Tomlin twice. And what stands out there in Mike Tomlin's career with the Steelers, no opposing quarterbacks is 2-0 straight up or better against him. You don't get Tomlin twice. You can get Tomlin once. You don't get Tomlin twice, Ryan.
Well, we did hear our boy Sal Paolantonio, former winner of Italian American of the Week.
Yes.
He did mention on Follow the Money today on VSiN that there is a advantageous matchup between Brown's defensive coordinator and Russ Wilson. So
no, he's done well against him. But I would also point out the history. Browns have lost 20 consecutive regular season games in Pittsburgh. They did have that one Baker-led playoff win in Pittsburgh, but other than that, their last win, October 2003, Tim Couch. Now, if you're going to say who would break that curse, it certainly would be Jameis Winston. But on the short week, he took a bunch of shots. He's clearly in his head a little bit with the interceptions. And last but not least, and we'll talk about this in another game.
The Steelers defense has been giving up a lot of opportunities to other offense.
No, that's fair. I some of that I think was game flow against the Bengals, and obviously the Bengals also got that kind of fugazi pick six to start the game. See, and Seattle versus the Cards, similar spot here, where if you're looking at teams that in the same division, obviously that play twice within 3 weeks. 49-34 against the spread for the team that lost first, which makes sense. You have instant revenge in a 3-week turnaround. They're hitting it like 59%. So I do think there's something to that. You throw on just Steelers historic dominance at home. I'm going to the Steelers one more time. Give me Pittsburgh laying the 7. Now, hey, at the end of the year, we're going to look at me picking the Steelers. I think almost every time. I don't know if I'll pick them next week, but and them ending with a pretty good ATS record. So for everyone who makes fun of me, Sean always picks the Steelers. Sean always picks.
You do have a set
the
of
Denver Broncos. Why? I wonder why I always pick the Denver Broncos. Because they're 10-3 ATS. Why do I always pick the Steelers? They're 9-3 ATS. Sean, you really suck off the Chargers. 8-4 ATS. Sorry if I'm exhausting you with these boring winning takes.
Yeah, I mean I guess I'm look, I think in general the rematch, these ridiculous your divisional rivals twice in 3 weeks nonsense, you have to zigzag it. It's no different than a NBA playoff game.
Yeah.
So that being said, we love it as a teaser, right, Sean?
Yeah, good teaser.
Love a teaser like here.
Shout out to Cody in the chat, highlighting the Lord deliver me from these pick sixes. Also, Cody all-time profile. He's rocking an SGPN hat with a I think it's a We Believe in East Carolina
strong flex
Pirates shirt, and this is where we met up with him in Vegas. And he was hanging out. We let him hang out and check out a live recording at the Win Studio. He passed out there, so he took a photo of him, and now he uses that as his profile. I mean, that's true.
Hashtag Legends only.
And when in doubt, you got to go with Tomlin.
You know I'm a degenerate.
Let's go, baby.
Especially in a teaser. Love it in a teaser. Game 6 in the early window, Sean. It's almost like a bye week because the Eagles have the Carolina Panthers. Nothing really to look at here. Massive talent edge, coaching edge. Eagles laying 12.5, -780 on the money line, 6-1 for the Panthers for a single NFL football game with a first round pick at quarterback. Pretty wild stuff. 46 is the total. I marked this game as a sandwich spot simply because the Eagles are coming off a big game, albeit a non-conference game.
Yeah.
And they have a big game on deck, albeit a non-conference game. So this could be interpreted and perceived by some as a potential.
They're two AFC teams with an NFC team in the middle. That's not how you do a sandwich.
But the NFC team is crap. The AFC teams have some geographical significance and perhaps carry a little bit more weight than your traditional non-conference opponent. They're also good and they have a good record.
Yeah, I mean, let's just start.
Anyway, just start
at the Eagles are the best running team in the National Football League, and the Carolina Panthers are the worst. I know the Carolina Panthers have been playing a little bit better, but they also gave up 200 combined yards to Bucky Irving and Sean Tucker, or whoever the other running back is for the Bucs.
That 2/3 headed monster is pretty nice for Tampa though.
Okay, I would say Jalen Hurts running, Saquon Barkley, who many believe is the league MVP.
So
I'm not going to talk him out of it.
You guys are saying that you're saying the Eagles are on par with that 2/3 headed monster in Tampa.
I would say so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think our offensive line is better. I mean, the Bucs offensive line wasn't even 100%. Now you're playing a Panthers team coming off an overtime game, and that was a pretty physical game on both sides. Again, probably why I went with the Raiders. That was a physical game. Like Baker got banged up. There was some hitting going on both sides, and Adam Thielen is not going to have the games he was having, not with Quinyon Mitchell, who At 451 snaps at quarterback, has not let up a touchdown pass this season so far. Just playing at a historic level for a rookie. I mean, you could make a case that Quinyon Mitchell is an all-pro cornerback, which is crazy to say for a cornerback. Reed Blankenship is out, but and Dallas Goedert, but it looks like they're going to get Darius Slay back, which is huge for them. I think Grant Calcaterra will do a decent job there filling in for Dallas Goedert. Jalen Hurts has been playing at a very high level. They've been playing very clean football. You look at some of the advanced numbers. He's completed plus 11.2% of his downfield passes over expected, a career high and the second highest among qualified quarterbacks this season. Hurts also has the third highest success rate on passes of at least 10 air yards this season. You saw what Mike Evans was able to do to this Panthers secondary. I think AJ Brown is set up for a very good game. Devonta Smith, who was very close to playing last week, he's going to go.
Is he?
Yes. I mean, I thought he was going to play last week. I really think he's going to play this week.
They don't need him to beat the Panthers though.
They don't look at it like this. And he had a full practice on Wednesday.
Okay.
And the Eagles, again, sign of a good team. They've been destroying bad teams. Now, you might like a scenario where they get up huge like they did against the Jags, and the Jags kind of got a couple fluky, that Saquon fumble that really wasn't a fumble probably, and they get back into the game and backdoor this big number. Okay. I mean, they took care of business against the Cowboys 34-6. They took care against the Giants 28-3. Commanders, they beat 26-18.
You're not worried about new Bryce Young?
No, not
Bryce
against
Young
not against Vic Fangio and this. I mean, the Eagles defense is the best in the league. I mean, whose defense do you think's better, Ryan? I mean, your DVOA has them number one.
They do have the number one overall weighted defense of DVOA right now. No, it certainly appears to be a good matchup. I think for the angle would be is that they do have bigger fish to fry. So how hard do they keep the pedal down? That's simply the handicap here. And but Bryce Young has looked frisky.
Yeah, I get it.
Bryce Young against some prevent defense.
But I just highlighted the 34-6 against the Cowboys, 28-3 against the Giants, 26-18 against the Commanders.
Here's what I'll say.
37-20 against the Rams. Like they're beating bad teams by margin. This is what they do.
And you're right, but I have a feeling I have a feeling Carolina's going to be able to have some success running the ball early in this game.
Okay, I don't believe
taking the points.
Wow.
Carolina does have the fourth adjusted line yards.
Right. I'm really worried about your picks this week.
What do you mean?
I'm really worried.
There's always weeks like this in the NFL season. You got to handicap the handicap.
Marco 2012 saying, "Is this dude always hammered?" I don't know who he's referring to. He must be referring to you.
Well,
I'm not hammered. I'm enjoying a
probably not
small
talking
glass
about
of
you.
whiskey.
You did just get through an Eagles handicap, which usually is flush with stats and numbers, so people don't think that you're being a homer when you.
No, I had a bunch of good stats.
That's what I mean. You always do about the Eagles, so people don't assume you're being a homer.
So you're ignoring the fact that the overtime angle that we had just discussed for the Bucks, you're ignoring that here for your Panthers.
I'm not ignoring that here.
Okay, you're choosing not to make it a deciding
I think the
factor.
Eagles are going to win this game. I think the Panthers are going to find a way to backdoor, and the Eagles don't give a shit about winning this game by margin because it's a little bit of a sandwich spot. At least some people are saying that.
I disagree.
I know you do.
I think they care about winning NFC games by margin.
Okay. They've been doing that. So maybe you'll be right here, but it's just it's a big number. Me and CJ talked about it.
I mean, so predict the score. Give me an exact score.
27-17.
Okay.
27-16 actually. You want to write that down?
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
Do you want to hear my score?
Yeah, let's hear your score.
35-10.
35-10.
Yeah.
Okay. So in your version it covers, in my version it doesn't.
Yeah.
Look at that. We've come back to the starting square. Game number 7 in the early
rough week for you, right?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Well, you're very confident.
I know. I am.
I don't.
Dialed in.
How do things typically go? This will be good.
You're very confident as well. You said it was an easy week.
I said I'm seeing the board well.
Yeah.
A lot of gross dogs. Jets, Dolphins, game number 7 in the early window. Dolphins coming off extended rest, although we have to factor in the thaw out period. Dolphins laying 6 points here at home, -290 on the money line. Dolphins or
Mike
Jets,
McDonald's still shaking.
Jets
Mike
plus,
McDaniel.
Jets plus 248 on the money line. 44.5 is the total. You can show people how Mike McDaniel shakes now.
It's not. Could it be colder? Remember when he wore that shirt?
It wasn't.
Look at all the bobbleheads are going now.
It wasn't good for Trump when he did that impression. So you gotta be careful.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
right.
I'm just saying. We don't know what Mike's up to. I mean, all right. So there's a couple elements to this game.
To me, okay, give me a couple because to me there's one element.
Well, one element is, as you've been saying, this Jets team finds a way. They 100% should have won and covered the game last week.
No,
But they didn't.
No, what do you mean they should have?
They're
the Jets. Come on.
They should have, but they're the Jets, so they didn't.
No, they shouldn't have because they're a live tumor. We're looking at cancer.
But on the other hand, the Dolphins are literally leaving like a worst case scenario from a weather situation to back in friendly confines against a team that, I mean, they're at least drifting closer and closer to quit. Whereas I don't think the Dolphins are quit yet. Dolphins believe they can make the playoffs. At least I think so, right?
Yeah, they're
the
still,
Dolphins believe, like, I mean, maybe not kitchen sink, but the Dolphins believe they're still alive. So, I mean, this is another game that also you want to bring up the injury report. I mean,
why?
Because it makes it even worse for the Jets.
Oh, there's you say multiple elements. I know we like to sit up here.
I'm giving you multiple elements.
Yeah. All right. You keep going with your elements.
Well, because when you look at the injury report, there are some critical players for the Jets that are injured.
Okay. Sauce Gardner.
Yeah. Well, forget Sauce. Like, that's a problem. Forget Breece Hall. That's a problem. The offensive line extremely banged up. That's the big problem. Dolphins are also a bit, they have a long injury report. It does seem like a decent amount of it is either fugazi or kind of rest days. Although Armstead it did pop up, Sean. So I don't know how you can possibly take the Jets.
Yeah, I'm 100% on the Miami Dolphins.
It is a number though, and it's a fairly big number for a divisional game.
Yeah, but you have to factor in there's a guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers who is single-handedly taking down this entire franchise. I don't even know if he's taking it down because it was already down,
Sean,
and he's driving it lower and lower.
Do you think everyone who's listening has watched the Aaron Rodgers Netflix show trailer?
I mean, if you watch that, there's no way you think any of his teammates are in. So,
Sean, please put that link in the episode description.
Sure.
Because everyone needs to see that what Aaron Rodgers is really focusing his time on.
Yeah,
he's trying to. It's literally Uncle Rico time traveling.
A friend of the
shocking his balls.
Friend of the program, Ryan, who is a Jets fan, Jared Smith said, "quote He's a content creator first, quarterback second," which is
true.
A great,
not a good content creator.
Great take by Jared. And the Dolphins would be a fun team to fade if they weren't playing the Jets. Tua 11-0 against the Jets and the Pats, 1-8 against the Bills. Pretty easy formula there. Ryan, of the 33 quarterbacks to have at least 200 plays since week 4, Aaron Rodgers is 31st in EPA per play, 31st in success rate, 31st
that can't be
in
right.
CPOE, and 26 in ADOT.
Ooh.
He's missing wide open guys. He's not seeing the field well. He's not executing the offense well. And the defense has been dog shit since Saleh got fired. It's a pretty easy handicap. Dolphins all day.
Yeah, they picked the wrong general. Should have kept Saleh, gotten rid of Aaron Rodgers. Do you remember how hard they were sucking him off?
Oh yeah,
they're watching film about how great they're going to be because Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Sidearm.
2 years
passes.
ago, they won. He's won. How many games has he won as a starter? Now, yes, he was hurt the first year, but come on.
His winning percentage continues to plummet beneath Zach Wilson. I mean, you can't make that shit up. Mike White, He's been pretty solid since he left. Joe Flacco, pretty solid. I mean, the Jets are the new Bears.
Yeah,
that's what
they find ways to lose.
Think about over the last 25, 30 years, who's been the most successful quarterback for the Jets? Mark fucking Sanchez.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Speaking of the dog, head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you a nice sign-up bonus. Deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Underdog's awesome, man. It is first off active in so many states, and of course the great state of Canada as well. You get the deposit bonus, but once you're in there too, they are great about giving you some profit boosts. I'm looking. I got a 50% profit boost for NHL and FIFA. They're always hitting you with new stuff. Love getting down on some Underdog. Ryan, what is a Underdog entry? Because we're doing a read, but really, these reads are great content. What do you like
hold on.
for the Underdog entry?
Let me turn my handicapping brain off and my fantasy projection brain.
Yeah, fantasy projections.
Let's see. Well, we haven't talked about the Buffalo game.
Okay,
but I would maybe look to fade Kyron Williams.
Matt Milano is back. That's an interesting angle.
I would, maybe we look to play the Darnold or Cousins INT.
I mean, Cousins interception. The higher is 0.86x, so it's not
maybe not that good.
It's not great, but it's it certainly feels pretty good.
I could be talked into a.
I mean, it's chalky as hell, but don't we just go to Brock Bowers? Like Antonio Pierce is hyping him up.
What's the number?
So he's got 67.5 receiving yards.
What's the fantasy? This is a fantasy points play. What's the fantasy?
It's not there.
Oh, okay. What? Just play the yards.
I like it because I think he's going to get.
He's kind of been smashing that.
Smash.
Yeah, I mean, he's been smashing that number. Who else is getting the ball?
Yeah, that's that's pretty. That's pretty easy.
Chalky, I'm sure, but.
No, but it's
I
fine.
will say the projections, you got to get them early in the week. They move.
I'll tell you a guy I like, and you probably don't like this, Ryan, but Parker Washington going up against that depleted Titans secondary. His receiving yards is 31.5. He's kind of emerged as a decent part of this offense. I think there's a connection there with Mac Jones. I think he has a nice game. Parker Washington.
That's a great point as to why Tennessee is going to cover. Relying on Parker Washington.
He had 6 for 103.
Sounds like a girl from
and a touchdown
sitcom from the 90s.
No, I think Parker Washington's gonna have a great game.
Sure, throw it in there.
All right, Parker Washington higher, 31.5 receiving yards, and Brock Bowers higher, 67.5 receiving yards. $100 entry would return you $300 over on UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN.
All right, let's head over to the afternoon slate where we have been no Panthers game this week in the late window, Sean. First one, a rematch of a game we saw just a couple weeks back. Seattle on a back-to-back road spot here is taking on my Cardinals, Sean. The Cards laying only 2.5 at home. I know there's some threes out here. The 2.5s, some of them have some juice. So definitely shop this one around. -150 on the money line for the Cardinals, +131 for the Seahawks. 44.5 is the total. And I'd say always fun this time of year to go to your favorite stat site and start messing with the sliders and kind of dial it in. Like, well, what has this team been over the last couple weeks? Let's start zooming in.
Yeah.
And here's a shocker. Both these teams playing a little bit of defense. Both these teams starting to look like, if I am another team in the NFC, I'd probably rather see the 49ers in the playoffs at this point than either one of these teams. If I'm being honest, because I think on any given Sunday, these teams seem like they can at least produce a game plan to put them in a situation to be in a scrap. Arizona's in these close games. Seattle is winning these games. Somehow they're in first place in the division. It's blowing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
But they're both, and I think we probably have to retract a little bit of our is Seattle's coaching staff just completely full of shit between their ears?
I don't know. I mean, watching these two wins,
they're not a 0 anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know. Watching that game, having the Seahawks against the Jets, I didn't think like, oh, very good coaching. To me, that was just about the Jets completely collapsing. And even the same with the 49ers game. To me, it wasn't like, hey, this is what Seattle's doing right. It was, oh my God, this is what the 49ers are doing bad. And a great example.
But there's something to not falling apart. Like when the chaos is happening around you.
Yes, but to me, special teams is an easy way to highlight coaching. If you're the Seahawks and you let up a kick return for a touchdown, you fumble 2 separate kickoff returns with the same guy. I'm sorry, that's not good coaching. Like you're either coaching it or
cut him.
They cut Laviska Shenault.
Yeah.
So you're
They
either
took care of
cutting
the
it
problem.
or you're allowing it to happen. And I guess to your point, they cut him.
Look, they've made some in-season roster changes that have gone in a positive fashion for them. So you have to give some credit to the coach, to the coaching staff. Like, all right, they're willing to adjust, which is more than some coaches. That being said, if we just pop back to the last time these two teams played, 16-6, and I don't know if you remember this. That was the one where Kyler had that absurd pick 6.
Well, but also he had a really bad interception against the Vikings game. And I think if you're building a case for the Seahawks, it starts with Kyler Murray making some very dumb in-game decisions. I think if you're making a case for the Seahawks, that's what you're highlighting, is that he has been really foolish with the ball as of late. But again, the Seattle Cardinals game fits that trend we were talking about of a division game happening twice and 3 times, like the instant revenge spot for the Cardinals, like the fact they're at home. And Trey McBride, I don't know what we got to do to get our boy Trey McBride a receiving touchdown. Maybe Kyler just can't see over the line or something, because he had 12 for 133 against Seattle, couldn't get into the end zone. And yeah, Seattle's played very good, Cardinals have played very good defense, in particular at home. Dating back to October 1st, they have not allowed a single touchdown to the opposing team. 26 drives. Now, some of that was the Jets, and it was the Bears, and it was the Chargers, but still 26 drives.
It's good. That's what I'm saying.
And to me, the last thing that really has me on the Cardinals is this is a tough travel spot for the Seahawks. They're obviously on the West Coast against the Cardinals. Then you fly out to the East Coast, now back to Arizona with maybe a trip into I'm sure they went to Seattle, then back to Arizona. This is a tough travel spot late in the year. I thought for how sloppy that game was against Seattle, like basically all their games have been super sloppy these past 3 games. And Gino, to me, is like Kyler. He's making a couple plays, but he still doesn't look sharp. Take Arizona and the home team.
Well, I think the shocking piece is that, you're looking at, especially with Arizona, like they have a real chance here to do some damage with the pass rush. We've seen the Seahawks offensive line struggle for much of this season. Yeah. And the Cardinals have quietly popped their head into the top 10 in adjusted sack rate. And so again, they've gotten some players back. One of the Robinson brothers, who we picked for defensive rookie of the year, finally out there. So yeah, I think we're going to see a classic Geno game. I think the roles will be reversed in terms of which team gets the pick 6. And again, hopefully Easy can come prepared to the pregame show with a number of defensive players, maybe one from the Seahawks. From the Cardinals.
Oh wow, Ryan.
As I mean, if Geno gets the pressure I expect him to get in this game, I didn't lock him up last week, and I regretted not doing it. But the Cardinals are 100% lock potential, and I'm not being a homer. Maybe I should get a Cardinals. I'll talk to McKee.
You need a team.
What do you mean?
No, you don't really have a team, so it'd be good if you had a team.
Oh, I root for my investment portfolio on a week-to-week basis.
All right.
And I do have a +1375 ticket on the Cardinals to win the division. So why not double down? No, nerds get down at 14-1. Okay.
So yeah,
they all have great prices. Game number 2, Buffalo, Los Angeles, the Rams. Oh man. I mean, it's crazy to think about this, but yeah, I mean the Bills, the turnaround from what the roster was at the beginning of the year, the questions that some people had, to where we are now. They're laying 4 points here on the road against the Los Angeles Rams. I would imagine there'll be a number of Bills fans in the house, even though they've already clinched. Nice little vacation around the holidays out to Los Angeles. Rams plus 168 on the money line. 50 is the total. Public side, Bills, 85% of the tickets. Rams do have McVay has Shanahan next week, and it's on Thursday night.
Yeah,
which I think is a double whammy. But you're also not looking past Josh Allen, because if you ever heard Sean McVay talk about Josh Allen, he's clearly rock hard when he's doing it. So I had to think about this one, because I know it seems like there's a little bit of shine off of the Rams Niners rivalry, but then it's like, no, this game's gonna be a critical game for the division.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk? It doesn't.
But the Rams also need this game to stay alive in the playoff hunt. So
kind of, but I think everyone, in at least my handicap of it is the teams in the NFC West realize, hey, if we're making the playoffs, it's because we're winning the division. I think the Commanders are probably one of the other wild card teams, and then one of the NFC North teams. I would be surprised if we get an NFC West wild card. Now, again, it is the NFC West. Maybe one of these teams get hot, but I think they realize their path is to winning the division. So they have their eyes. You have the eye emoji there for a reason, Ryan. They're looking ahead towards that Thursday night game against Shanahan. Now, meanwhile, the Bills, they're fired up. They want to get that number 1 seed. They want the game to come through Buffalo. And matchup wise, you mentioned Matt Milano. Him coming back, I think, is huge for slowing down the Rams rushing game. Bills, they kind of are a dome team quietly. No one likes to talk about it. You saw what the Rams happened to them when they went up against a team above them in class with the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think the Bills are going to be able to do that same kind of thing. The Bills defense does pretty well against outside receivers. I think they're going to be able to slow down the offense. They've had 6+ games with 30+ points. Maybe it's a letdown after the big 49ers win, but I think they're still chasing the Chiefs because they want to.
Was that a big 49ers win?
No,
I kind of discarded them like a shit team.
They won by a big margin on Sunday night. No, it's a big win, but
I know, but it's not like you're talking about an emotional pouring out type of performance, and that was not that.
You're right. They were in cruise control. They're having fun.
Yeah, they were like, that's the best kind of win. I mean, if anything, the low leverage. Were they worried after halftime?
No. I think you got to play Bills -4. I think they'll have the crowd.
And Sean, by the way, I mean, last week Milano played 37 of the defensive snaps, which was good for 77%.
Yeah.
So I think if you take away the run game and you take away the run game and you trust your cornerbacks to be able to stand out on an island, at least on one side, I think Cooper Kupp has lost something. And I think teams are having a little bit more success dealing with him. And if you roll it over to Puka, this also feels, even though it's a non-conference road spot, this does feel like a smash spot for the Bills to me as well.
Smash!
JTTD in the chat saying this won't be close. Josh sits in the fourth quarter again. Now he does have a Bills icon for his profile, so maybe he's a little biased, but I'm with him. I think Bills cruise here.
Yep. And who did you think the Bills were going to get upset by in the playoffs? We were having a discussion in the office.
Oh yeah, I mean Adam Pelletier, managing editor for the site, the Don of Bills Mafia. Plug your ears, because I think the Bills are going to get upset by someone besides the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Okay,
and I think it could be the Steelers or the Broncos.
Wow.
Hot take.
You're going to wake up with an essay. In your Slack
a lot
DMs.
has to happen between now and then. This is why it's I'm looking ahead.
All right,
Broncos got to make the playoffs.
I feel pretty good about that. Hands getting chalky.
Oh, I do too. I had him 7-1.
Okay.
Make the playoffs preseason. Oh, I thought you wanted to tout about the Broncos.
No. I was just I'm operating in a current time and space, not continually time traveling when convenient. Chicago 49ers. For whatever reason, whenever I think about Niners Bears, I think about that Trey Lance Justin Fields game from a couple years ago.
That was great.
Just a classic. With Justin Fields sliding through the water.
Yeah, sliding through the water. Well, because it was one of our.
I don't know why.
Big plays.
But but just why is that a classic moment in my mind? All right, moving to modern time again. There I was time traveling, Sean. The Niners -4, -210 on the money line. Bears +184. 43.5 is the total. All right, so obviously we have a coach bump here.
Yep.
And the coach that they have now promoted, what, like 3 times in the past couple weeks?
Yeah, he's on a heater.
We a little bit. I mean, yeah. You ever had that moment in your career where all of a sudden the dominoes
Seas opened up,
begin to fall? So you could handicap this both ways. One is, holy shit, like this guy was a quarterbacks coach a couple weeks ago, and now he's dealing with all this other organizational
his press
bullshit.
conference. CJ was having me watch it. It's pretty funny.
But this guy is.
If you are playing coaching cliche bingo, he was. I mean, everyone's getting paid on his bingo. It's like
he said
we're taking one game at a time. Accountability, not giving up, no penalties, clean football.
We're gonna look each other in the
every coaching, but that works especially in the short term. Like he's a Antonio Pierce vibes 100%.
Well, he also comes with a reputation for someone who potentially could be a good offensive mind. Now, you could argue that making him the head coach maybe prevents him from focusing solely on the offense and whatever positivity that's coming out of this. It seems to be fairly uniform that people feel like he's doing a good job.
Their offense has been better. Again, small sample size.
So do you think it's worrisome that he's now being pulled away from the offense? And
no, because he also had extra time to prepare. To his point, he's been waiting for this opportunity his entire life. Now I'm worried about next week after this. But as soon as that clock hit 0 and they had a timeout, that guy. There was a quote about he lost 22 pounds since becoming offensive coordinator.
That's a little concerning.
He's
Sean. As someone who likes to work hard, you find time to eat.
Yeah,
you don't forget to eat.
You work hard, you play hard, Ryan.
When people, whenever the wife says forgot to have, it's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, okay, you forgot to have lunch. Got it.
Yeah.
No, come on, come on.
So he has an eating disorder.
I just think he's being a little bit of a prima donna here.
Bikini season's coming up.
I just think it's one of these things that people tell you when they want to make sure that you think they worked hard. Oh, you skipped feeding time. You must have really been working hard.
Well, it's like the coach is sleeping in the office. It's like, wow, this guy's doing everything. No,
you just hate your fucking home. Like I get it.
Your brain needs sleep.
Well, you're an NFL football coach. You have a sick ass office. You have a sick ass workplace.
Yeah.
And going home, you're just gonna get nagged about putting the fucking lights up or whatever. So why not sleep in the office?
Ryan brings that up as an example.
What do you mean?
Now you're always just like, next thing you know, wife's trying to get you to put the lights up.
Sometimes you gotta play chess.
So to me, it's a very easy play for the Bears, but Ryan.
Well, it's the kneecap trend.
That's the only reason why we might be talked into taking the Lions.
Well, how did the kneecap trend do last week?
It
was unofficially. You were trying to say, well, let's see. Because the Jags were coming off a bye, so there was no kneecap trend.
Because the Jags are coming off a bye.
Because they were coming off the bye.
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because let's see, the Jags played Detroit week 11. Week 12, the Jags were on a bye. Right.
All right.
And then Detroit played Indy last week, or at week 12. Had an Indy.
No, it did. It came through last week. Yeah, I was right because
Indy covered.
Indy played.
No, they didn't cover.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It worked last week. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Now the way we talk this, the way we get out of this is we say, oh, like a bye week, it was essentially a mini bye. By getting that Thursday, that deflates the biting kneecap trend.
We're not. This is also the middle game of a 3-game road trip for the Bears.
Well, the third one is where you have to fade them. The middle one is fine, especially off a long rest.
The first and the third game were divisional games against the Lions and then the Vikings at the end.
Yeah, I'm still taking the Bears. I think the kneecap stuff and just maybe scares me a little off locking this up or taking them on the money line. But yeah, I'm all in on the Bears. What
I don't
doing,
like
Ryan?
how you're just throwing the kneecap stuff right out the window.
No, I'm not. I'm saying to me, the new coach bump supersedes that. The fact that Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason are out. Everyone on
Running
that team
backs don't matter for that team.
everyone on that team is banged up. Their offensive line, Purdy dealing with injuries. I think
They just got embarrassed. They're laying only 4 points to a team that might not be that good. And the head coach the coach that was fixing the offense just got named head coach and has a lot of other things to think about. I'm 100% leaning into the kneecap trend.
really.
Give me the Niners. Yeah.
I don't like that play at all.
Did you hear the social media discussions about Bears should trade for Kyle Shanahan?
I think that was just Big Cat trying to get it started.
No, I know. It's a good. Here's what I would say. Would you, if you were a Bears fan, would you want Kyle Shanahan as the coach to mold Caleb Williams?
I don't know. I mean,
Who would you want?
well, they're probably talking themselves into Kyle Shanahan because he's won a bunch of games, and that's who you want. I think they would be happy with Ben Johnson. He's done a good job with Jared Goff and that offense, knows the division very well. It would probably be Ben Johnson would be the dream one.
Urban Meyer?
No, of course not. That's insane. Urban Meyer's never gonna sniff. He's never gonna. He'll sniff some things, but not a NFL coaching job.
No, but he'll be a head coach in college very short.
Yeah, why not? It's
Ohio
college.
State might have an opening soon. All right, Sunday Night Football, Sean. Oh boy, poor Decker. This could be a tough one for him. The Chiefs host the Los Angeles San Diego Superchargers. The Chargers are catching 4 points, plus 176 on the money line. 43 is the total. What have we done, Sean? Why is this only 4 points?
It's
what
crazy.
are they doing to us right now?
It's crazy.
All right. I get it. The Chiefs, if you flip their 1-score games, they're basically the Giants. So that take about Patrick Mahomes just being Daniel Jones without an elite defense or with an elite defense may be true, but come on, right?
Yeah, I
Chargers just won a nice road game in Atlanta.
Chargers
Now
are great.
they go to Kansas City.
I mean, look at what this game was. They were 7-point home dogs. Now I get it; they don't have a crazy home field. 7-point home dogs to home dogs to 4-point road dogs. Kansas City does have a home field. You got to factor that in. That's
time.
a crazy adjustment. And you get Andy Reid, Patty Mahomes off extended rest, and it's it's not crazy, but it's still a couple games there. Ladd McConkey, who is basically the Chargers' offense right now, he is the Chargers' passing game. Have you seen Quentin Johnson? Now he was expected to practice today. I don't know. He's dealing with a knee and shoulder sprain, so if he does play, he's not going to be 100%, and that's huge because Ladd McConkey fully healthy. I don't think it changes the play for me, but it gives the Chargers some outs, I think. And this is Justin Herbert in a big game. The Chiefs play down to their competition. You know when they get up for big games. I know they lost to the Bills, but I actually thought they played pretty good in that game. And just hats off to the Bills, like played game of the season for them. But you look at they show up in big spots. They cover spreads in big spots. Look at when they were a dog at San Francisco, winning by a nice margin there. I don't know. They're gonna win this game. They're gonna cover. This is it's a good spot for them. And again, the Chargers continue to exceed expectations. And I know the Chiefs have been bad in these 1-score games, but that's why you're getting the discount. Everyone knows they're bad ATS. No one is betting on the Chiefs, which is crazy. This is the time to buy low on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's you got to go back to 2021. Last time they lost to the Chargers. Simple system. I mean, it's basically a field goal.
Chiefs are on a 6-game ATS losing streak, which is pretty crazy. Longest ATS losing streak of Patrick Mahomes' career. Yeah, this is.
Do you think they give a flying fuck about that?
I am worried about the Chiefs' left tackle situation. Like them not figuring out what to do at left tackle is big. I think Patrick Mahomes rushing props are in play because in a big game, and this is a big game for them. They want to hold on to that 1 seed. This is a division game. They want to. They haven't sealed the division yet, so I think this is full speed ahead.
Well, that's what makes this full speed ahead, because if they win this, it's basically the division, right?
Yeah.
As far as I mean,
and Marco in the chat pointing out they are frauds. Could be on a 3-game losing streak. Super lucky. I think you're right to a degree. You can't call a team who's won back-to-back Super Bowls frauds. I get it, and the numbers are reflecting it. Their inability to cover ATS is reflecting that. But I think Marco, my advice to you is like take like one step deeper. Did they need that Black Friday game?
No,
they needed to win. Did they need that game against the Carolina Panthers? They needed to win. They did. Did they need this Chargers game? They kind of do. They kind of need this game, and I think. Patrick Mahomes is a little tired of guys like Marco calling him frauds. So I think they actually run it up here. Chiefs win by margin.
I mean, they got some, the Chiefs on deck at Browns, Texans at home, at Steelers, at Broncos. I mean, you talk about a situation where they're playing some of these teams. We're discussing, like, these are a lot of playoff teams down the Steelers and Broncos down the stretch, Sean. They got to get wins. So I'm with you. I think this is a huge game for them. And again, it kind of locks up the division.
Smash!
Yeah, if not officially, I know Broncos are on bye. They're nipping at their heels there. And I mean, if Chargers win this, they are back in the mix for the division.
Chiefs very healthy. That's the biggest thing here is Chiefs very healthy, Chargers banged.
Now they would still be a couple games back, but they would have a pulse for the division.
Well, yeah, I mean, it starts with not getting swept by the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football. Oh boy, I bet you they wish they could flex this one. Bengals.
Well, and they tried to, Ryan, but unfortunately, they're doing a Simpsons simulcast, and they said there was too much production work already done on.
And they picked this game.
And Bart and Homer playing Bengals.
I like that.
Cowboys, and so they can't switch it, so it's stuck, which is great because we won't have to watch Eli Manning. We can watch the Simpsons simulcast.
The Manning cast is an elite programming. -5.5.
Bill Belichick's good. The Mannings can get bent.
Oh, stop it. -5.5 for the Bengals on the road. -235.
How are we
talking
line? Ourselves into the Bengals?
Cowboys +205. 49.5 is the total. Eli Payton and Bill Belichick is an elite show. Like, just I'll watch that football all the time. Belichick might be busy next year though, coaching. We'll see.
Ryan planting the seeds of Belichick to the Giants. There's no way he would go to the Giants with their owner.
He's on record saying that he would love to finish his career with the New York Football Giants.
Really?
He said it a long time ago, but taking it out of context. But yeah, he's fond of the organization. I don't know how we're talking about this. Bengals team is complete trash. I also saw some internet rumors about maybe a hot seat for Cincinnati's head coach.
Zach Taylor needs this game to keep his job. Now,
you think so?
Yeah.
Like, you think 100% he gets fired if they miss the playoffs?
Well, how are they going to make the playoffs?
Or like when they miss the playoffs, you think he's losing his job?
100%.
So you think he?
I mean,
how does he save his job then?
You win out on like you finish the season on a hot run.
Okay. No, I didn't I don't think I viewed it as something that dire, but
100%. The fan base is at a fever pitch for Zach Taylor's job. Yeah. And if you watch Hard Knocks,
it's a lot of, I feel like they're either in or way out on him.
I don't know anyone who's in on Zach Taylor, honestly. And if you watch Hard Knocks, everyone's been killing Zach Taylor. If you're the only way Zach Taylor stays around, if the owner is so cheap, it would mean buying him out. And I don't know Zach Taylor's contract situation. That's the only way he sees next year, because they are completely pissed off at him. The fan base hates him. It's clear there's locker room issues. The defense has been an unmitigated disaster.
His fully guaranteed contract is through 2026.
So that's the only reason he's
that's
the only reason. No, I'll stay by.
This owner's cheap as shit. He will 100% make a decision based on not having to pay out contract money if he doesn't have to.
Cowboys, we're fading them off back-to-back wins. Now they're playing a team that's much better that can take advantage of the Cowboys secondary. And that's how you beat the Cowboys, by throwing the football. The Bengals can do that. They can light them up. And yeah, that's the angle to take the Bengals here. It's crazy. It's 5.5. But the Cowboys offense is still just not good. CeeDee Lamb is incredibly banged up. And this is the sneaky reason you take the Bengals, is because Ryan, 2022, Cooper Rush beat the Bengals outright. This is a quiet revenge game for probably knocked a lot of people out of Survivor. This is a revenge game for Zach Taylor and Joe Burrow. Time to set things right. Give me the Bengals.
Or it's Cooper. He knows a thing or two about going against this crap defense. Yeah, you got to lay the points here.
I thought you were gonna take the Cowboys around. The way you're picking these games, I thought you were gonna be all in on the Cowboys.
I think people appreciate, much like they appreciate my dedication to pronouncing Louisville correctly, my pursuit of objective handicapping on all NFL games. It's important. But yeah, my data did bring me to the Bengals. My number actually has it at 10.5.
All right, time for our lock, dog, and tease, brought to you by Rhythm. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial of Rhythm. Rhythm's great, man, and they have a ton of sports. Not only the NFL, but they get the NBA, college basketball, college football, golf, even WNBA when that's live. And I love it's great. Like it's my go-to when I start my props research for the props episodes. People are always wondering, hey man, you're doing really good on the anytime touchdowns, the first touchdowns. What are you using? They go, oh, Rhythm. You know what Rhythm likes, Ryan?
It's like how kids use the internet for research.
Yeah. Hey, we all had that smart kid. You could look at their paper during test time. That is Rhythm. That is Rhythm. Is the smart kid in your class that you can just double check your answers.
Yeah, AI. It's literally AI. Yeah. You just got to double check your answers.
Just double check my answers. Oh, I came to the same conclusion as this supercomputer program built by MIT scientists. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Tell you what, let's see. Ryan,
what are you loading up for us?
I'm just looking through some of Rhythm's predictions. Rhythm, my SGPN NFL model, which has been doing pretty well, likes the Jaguars plus 3.5.
Crap.
Get your 7-day free trial and build your own model over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Kramer, do you want to keep? We should keep it going, right? You going first for the locks?
Well, you got two last week, right?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first? It's your call.
Oh, it's up to you. When was the last time you got two?
I had not been good at getting the double
I feel
locks.
like you should go first then. That's definitely. I mean, I've been all right with the locks over the last pretty much the whole season. 58%. No big
It's a nice framing of data.
Thank you.
58% is great, Ryan. All right, for my first lock, really do like the Saints. I mean, the Giants are pretty bad, Ryan.
Yeah, no Taysom Hill. Good luck.
Saints are getting up for this game. Oh man, to me, yeah, you got to take Arizona. Give me Arizona minus 2.5. And my other lock, give me the Chiefs laying 4 at home. This is when we get the full Kansas City experience. Now there's a couple dogs I like. Bears, intriguing. They're close. Raiders. The Titans have lost so many games. Give me the Maxonville Jaguars. No one has ever come up with that nickname. I am debuting it. Please feel free to use.
Last play.
You're getting plus 163 against the Titans, Ryan. Ryan, this is how we're getting out of our Will Levis hole, is by betting the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Mac Jones, it feels like you're just going to a different hole.
Yeah. I do like Miami as well. Miami was close for me. But I'll put Miami in the tees. Give me Miami down to a pick. Anytime you could fade the Jets, it's a pretty good tease opportunity. Steelers down to 1, obviously, and then I'll take the.
Tough teaser week. A lot of between the sixes.
I'll take the Vikings to win at home. Up to a half there. So Arizona and Kansas City are my locks. Dog is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Miami, Pittsburgh, Minnesota on the 3-team tees. Kramer, what do you got?
I mean, I don't necessarily want to double lock Arizona, but I did do a whole bit about how it was regretful that I didn't lock them up last week. So we're gonna double lock up Kyler Murray in Arizona. All right, let you go first. I was sitting there. I'm like, there's no way he takes Arizona. Lock number 2.
I mean, I considered Miami.
I would say this: if Detroit was not on a Thursday, you know my rule about this. I don't really want to play it in the contest. It is a virtual lock, but the lock, give me the Dolphins.
Okay. Glad
like you mentioned, you were close to it.
Yeah,
I'm all the way on it. I mean, again, you highlighted the Jets. My 2 components were the Jets are banged up and the Jets are bad.
Yeah.
We're also getting Miami coming off long rest with, literally the worst thing you can see them in is cold, and now it's not cold. And I think, like we mentioned, they kind of fancy that they still have a chance. So possibly.
What do you got for your tees, Ryan?
Tees. First, let me give you the dog.
Okay.
I don't really have a clear understanding of how it's going to happen, but I know that I'm not going to. This Bucs situation is not going to end well for us. And I think it starts by the Falcons somehow stealing a win here against the Minnesota.
Wow.
Vikings. Give me Kirk Cousins and his.
Did you what? That game was on.
I watched it. Yeah. I watched.
And you don't think he's injured?
I thought there was some weird. The whole time I kept saying this is a weird fucking game. There's weird things going on.
I don't know if it was that weird.
It was.
To me, it's pretty normal. Kirk Cousins sucks in domes now. That's
he's gone. He's the only thing he's good at now is prime time. The world's really flipped upside down. Tease. All right, like I said, it's a weird week to tease because there's a lot of numbers in the wrong spot. Pittsburgh -1.
okay.
Let's go with Cincinnati +0.5.
Ooh, okay.
I know. I was surprised you didn't do that. And then for the last leg of the tease, let's get the Raiders up to 13.
Teasing the Raiders on the road. What could go wrong, Ryan?
All right, you're right. Get that out of here.
No.
I get that.
I do think it's 13's probably good.
Get it out of here.
All right, what's your tease then?
All right. I also like this one. Give me leave it in there. Raiders +13.
I'll
be regretful.
+13. All right. So circa million.
I've been crushing the teasers too.
Ryan, this is important because we're starting off a new circa million quarter. So last quarter.
Right, Arizona,
hold up the fours.
Hold them up. Arizona, Miami, Kansas City.
Feel great about those 3. Now this is where it gets interesting because we don't have a lot of agreement in this week.
Well, we do agree on Buffalo. We do agree.
I was close to locking up Buffalo.
We agree on the Raiders. I was pretty close on Buffalo as well.
All right,
throw Buffalo in there.
So very chalky. Do we
just put Pittsburgh in? Just throw them in there. Just fucking throw it in there. We're gonna be locked in on Jameis. Just throw it in there.
All right, so we have no dogs. All favorites.
Yeah, fuck it.
All right. So we got. I almost put New Orleans in there. Arizona -2.5, Miami -6, KC -4, Buffalo -4, Pittsburgh -7.
What a card!
Very chalky, but
what a card! It's not that chalky, surprisingly. I think Kansas City will not be public. I think I think there's a chance that people bet the Jets again, Sean. I don't like the public side that we're on is Buffalo. That's the clear public side.
Yeah.
Everything else, I don't think it's public.
Shout out to Tyler just checking in on the chat saying, have y'all talked about 100K Bitcoin yet? Yes, we did. And hey, take some of those Bitcoin profits and go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get your sweet deposit match over there. Also, big thanks to everyone who's been hitting us up with the Spotify Wrapped. That is super, super fun.
Yeah.
And I saw Benedict Dantold had one, but I'll say this: next one to tweet us over at Gambling Podcast.
You can post on X.
Post on X at Gambling Podcast. That's the problem.
What are you, a bird?
No, that's what's the problem with the X transition name is there's no good verb.
Yeah.
Right. Post on X.
Yeah.
Tweet was a good verb for that platform. Hit us up on X at Gambling Podcast with a clean Spotify Wrap, meaning only SGPN shows in your Spotify Wrap. First person to do that, get a $50 SGPN gift card.
It's 5 spots, right?
5 spots. No finagling with
I
Photoshop.
really don't like when I see another show from SGPN above us.
Yeah,
does not make me happy.
Or there was a someone reached out to a female listener, rare female listener.
Please, it's worth pulling it up so you can read off the list.
It was great because normally, and again, we do have confirmed female listeners, and this is proof. Because
this is beyond proof. This is mind blowing.
So she sent in the Spotify Wrap on Instagram, and these are some of the other shows.
That's how you know it's a chick.
Finding Mastery with Dr. Michael Gervais, The Neuro Experience, Financial Feminist, Sports Gambling Podcast, and The Side Hustle Show. So shout out to Sunshine Freckler on Instagram.
Yeah.
You are awesome.
How did we? I mean, Sean, save this for the marketing deck.
Yeah. Look, hey, we appeal to chicks, cool chicks, but we do appeal to women. And
I'm sure she's got a lot of disposable income. That's all they're after.
Who knows?
Lady, a fine lady listening to our show.
And she's also seems like an intellectual listening to some like neuroscience podcasts.
Yeah. Smart and with disposable income.
Yeah, that's our advertisers love hearing that kind of stuff. So again, shout out to everyone submitting the Spotify Wraps. It's awesome. Grown a ton over on Spotify, and appreciate everyone tossing us the 5 stars on Spotify, helping us dominate the charts. You guys and gals are awesome.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Go Cards.
Kramer. Let it ride.